because you guys were on mute. I'm pretty sure Gavin played with it.
No. I pressed it by mistake. Okay, so now hopefully folks on Facebook can hear us. That would be nice.
Very.
So we're simulcasting now on Facebook, VMV Hypoallergenics, and on Instagram. And so we'll be talking about hair and nails and stuff. Someone asked about the curly girl method. And, I think my mom can help answer some stuff regarding some confusion about certain ingredients. There's a lot in cosmetics that really is fear-mongering. I think there's a lot of valid concerns about certain ingredients and certain practices and whatnot. But there is also some panic that isn't necessarily true or not true for everybody, or not true in certain aspects. We talked about it in the acne live stream, where a lot of the ingredients online that are called comedogenic are rated that based on really old studies done on rabbit ear assays, which have been debunked, weren't all that consistent back in the 1960s and 70s when they were done, and are really just not as consistent and reliable as studies done on humans, on volunteers, real skin and real conditions. Plus you don't bother the bunnies, which is always nice. So it's not like it's, quote, false or just bad or whatever, but it is based on old data. And not a lot of people maybe know that, or that's not given necessarily in the context. So in things like the curly girl method, we've actually been following a lot of it for her hair. Because Madison, as you can see,
I have curly hair. Then again, I don't really, I do some of it.
Yeah. One of the nicer things I discovered, for example, was the whole don't use a regular towel.
Oh, yeah.
Use a microfiber
which
towel.
I thought it was interesting.
Also, or a t-shirt.
Yeah.
And air drying. And this makes total sense. Even for skin. Even for sensitive skin, you want to be able to use a softer material, nothing too harsh, because abrasion is irritating. Friction is irritating.
Also, use silk pillowcases for me.
That's right. The silk pillowcase thing is also good. Okay. Checking with folks before we start. Audio is okay. We got the crickets back out, but we do have,
Mics,
unidirectional
so
mic now.
okay.
So a hypercardioid mic, we should be all right. We have a fuzzy wind barrier thing, so hopefully everything is
okay. A dead
okay.
kitten is what it's called.
I don't like that because it's called a dead cat. Anyway, okay.
It's a ball of fluff.
All right, so hi everyone. Welcome to our live stream, Skin Sites, on hair and nails. Before I call in my mother, Dr. Varalio Rowell, who's sort of the big brain dermatopathologist who will be here answering your questions far more medically, I will be talking first a little bit about VMV and our products for hair and nails and what we normally recommend. People tend to forget that you see a dermatologist for hair and nails as well, right? Keratin, skin. Anyway, she'll get into that a little bit more later. In general, the good news and the bad news is, I guess bad, you're going to hear some of the same stuff over and over again about taking care of your skin and your hair and your nails, meaning avoid the allergens, avoid the irritants, stressors, live well, sleep well, take care of your mental health, all these things. A lot of the same stuff that triggers eczema, rosacea, acne, right, is the same stuff that can cause problems with skin, with nails and with hair, at least the scalp. So the good news is that, to keep clear, doing the same things will benefit so much of you, right? It's not just for your hair or just for your nails, and then you have to do something else for your skin. So much of what you have to do for your skin's health, especially if you have inflammatory skin conditions or atopic dermatitis, psoriasis, rosacea, acne, will benefit from the same things for a dry scalp, dandruff or seborrheic dermatitis, fungal conditions of the scalp, and then certainly your nails and nail beds. So, what we normally recommend for VMV, you'll notice that all of our shampoos, this is superwash, right? All of our shampoos are hair and body washes. And the reason for that is they're really that gentle. We've never kind of been of the position that a shampoo needs to be harsher so that it can clean the hair more. It should be gentle enough for use on both. Plus, they are really related. I don't know how many people already know this, but a lot of acne, particularly here in the forehead.
I get a lot here.
There you go. Cheeks, the back of the neck, even down here, can be from hair care. Shampoos and conditioners that have comedogens or acnegens or allergens that trickle down, especially with sweat, can clog pores. And remember, comedogens, I don't know if in the States you say comedogens. I forget. Anyway, that just clogs the pore and causes a comedone. And acnegens are things that it starts off as a comedone, the pore is clogged, and then inflammation develops, and then an infection, and that's when acne happens. So of course, allergens and irritants being irritating can certainly do that. So those are things to avoid. So yeah, the same gentleness and allergen freeness and non-irritationness that go into what we would do as a body soap, we put into the scalp, into products that care for the scalp and hair as well. We have 3 hair and body washes. The first is, I mentioned, Superwash, and then we have Clark Wash, and then we have Cool and Clean.
I did not know we had the Cool and Clean.
Yeah, and I
What
used it
is
for
it?
you as a baby, so I will get to that in a second. So the main difference between Superwash and Clark Wash is that Superwash is also great as a clarifying shampoo for
Which
those of you
is?
who need it. Like for curly hair, if you have a lot of product for several days, and you really want to remove all that buildup, it's good for that. And
Oh,
it's
that's good for
gentle.
me then.
Yeah, and it's gentle enough even for curly hair. But for
like-
daily use, you should probably use Clark Wash.
Oh, I use I don't wash my hair daily, but I use Superwash.
That's true, actually. Curly hair
But
shouldn't
it's
even be
good
washed
for
daily.
me also because I dance.
Yeah, she dances every day. So, yeah. So anyway, so Superwash contains, the big difference is it's a clarifying shampoo, more than Clark Wash. And it has SLES, which I will get into in a little bit, talk about ingredients that have gotten a bad rap over not much understanding. Clark Wash does not have SLES. So it would be recommended more for really, really sensitive skins and scalps, and for dry, super dry, colored or treated hair. Okay?
Treated.
Yeah, mostly, but just treated hair. Then Cool and Clean is similar to Clark Wash in that it has no SLS or SLES, but it also has glycerin and it has virgin coconut oil
Don't both.
for more slide and moisture.
Okay.
And the reason is that it's made for babies and also babies with disrupted skin barriers. And babies, because they're young, their skin is still cycling and all this, they absorb a lot more of what's applied on the skin. So Cool and Clean is for babies. And we also have customers who are undergoing chemotherapy and want something extremely moisturizing, paraben-free, really not irritating. They tend to like Cool and Clean as well. So if you know anyone who's undergoing chemotherapy, Cool and Clean is a great option for them. A note, so here on Superwash's SLES. So, SLES is sodium lauryl sulfate. So LAUREL. So SLES, right? And SLS is sodium lauryl sulfate. LAURYL. So SLES is lauryl sulfate and SLS is lauryl sulfate. It's a little confusing, but it's important. Neither of these sulfates are top contact allergens. They're not. And considering how ubiquitous they are, how common they are in a lot of stuff, that's saying something. For something to be a top contact allergen, one of the key things is for it to be present in everything, right? these things are, and they're not top contact allergens. They can be irritants. Just like retinol can be an irritant, alcohol is not a top contact allergen, can be an irritant. And like most irritants, there is a relationship between how irritating they are and how much of it is in a formulation. So for superwash, it's very, very healthy concentration. It's not an allergen, and it's great. Since the launch of this product, Superwash, I think, was launched in like the mid 80s. We just don't get any customer reports of reactions to it. And actually, a nice study published in Dermatitis, which is one of the leading journals of contact dermatitis in the world, shows less than 0.1% reactions to our products reported in over 30 years. So, you know what we're doing. This is interesting too about SLS and SLES. I'm going to be quiet first because we have a helicopter passing by. And I don't think there's any mic that's going to help with a helicopter. So I will let that puppy fly by. Okay. So SLES and SLS are both made with lauric acid, which is also from coconut oil. These are different from allergen surfactants, which are cocamidea, cocamidopropyl, something. Cocamidea and cocamidopropyl. Oh, I'm blanking. But you know what I mean. And it's actually not the coconut oil that's a problem there. It's the amidoamine chain that's the issue. And that comes from the processing of the thing. So SLS and SLES are also from lauric acid, from coconut oil. And there's a wonderful review of studies now on vmvinskin.com. It's a study review since the 1970s of studies showing the antimicrobial, antiviral properties of a lot of coconut oil derivatives, including SLS and SLES. So they're actually used for a lot of products for their antimicrobial properties, which is why, like in our clinic and in our factory, we ask people when they come in, part of the disinfection procedure is to wash their hands, including under their nails, but to go up until the elbows using Superwash, and then to wash their faces using a Super Skin Cleanser, which has SLS. So again, while not allergens, SLS and SLES can be slightly irritating. SLS is more irritating than SLES, which is what is in Superwash, and Superwash has lower concentrations of it, but you get also this antimicrobial benefit, which is great. So again, Superwash if you'd like a more thorough, clean, clarifying shampoo. Clark Wash if your scalp and hair are very delicate and your skin is very delicate, maybe you have eczema, and for colored or treated hair. And Coo and Clean for babies and kids, or if you're undergoing chemotherapy, for example, very, very sensitive skin. And then Essence Conditioner is, it's our conditioner. And it's really great, just like most of the stuff, for skin that tends to get acne, because it really doesn't build up. It has no residue. So there's nothing to sort of trickle down onto skin and cause acne. And for nails, very quickly, a nice tip on dry cuticles is Boo Boo Balm on the cuticles. So my classic thing is I'll always have like a hangnail, that gets sore, and then eventually for me it'll get infected, and I used to have to take oral antibiotics for it. But now what I do is I just put a big glob. You can see this is almost empty. Like we have tubs and tubs in the house. I'll put a big glob on the hangnail, and then I'll put a Band-Aid on it, and I will leave it on like overnight. I'll redress it in the morning and keep it on again. By maybe the second or third day, I'm fine. Yeah. So anytime dry cuticles and stuff, it's a great thing. Our distributor in Taiwan, Minu, I know uses it a lot for that because they do manicures and pedicures. So there. And quickly, before I forget, stuff that's going on, since we're talking about antimicrobials and whatnot. In the Philippines, we're offering a mini-sized version of our Stay Safe kit with a lot of, like, our virgin coconut oil, a lot of our antimicrobial essentials in a pouch. So it's perfect for when you're making quick errands, going outdoors, or if you happen to be going to work already, it's nice to bring with you. In the USA, we're offering a self-care kit that you can customize with travel-sized products. So if you choose 2 of the travel-sized minis, you get a drawstring pouch. And if you choose 4, you get the bigger travel case, which is really pretty. It's just nice. And it's National Lipstick Month. So I would be remiss if I didn't say all months, all July, it's 40% off lipsticks and lip glosses if you buy 2 of a kind, or 2 of any, I think. And yeah, and all our lip products contain monolaurin also for antimicrobial care. And lipsticks have also virgin coconut oil, which is awesome. Okay, so final quick tip for nails, and I'll call my mom in. When you're applying gel polish and you have to do the UV light thing, you might want to put on Armada. So before you apply the polish and whatnot, just do your sunscreen. Anyway, you should be doing sunscreen every day, right? And don't forget your hands. So yeah, when you do the UV light, remember UV light is an issue. That's UVA, that's visible light, and yes, that's tanning beds, which you shouldn't be doing anyway. And yes, that's the UV light for drying gel polish. So there, all that covered. I'm going to ask my mom to join us to really dive deep into hair and nails. You're going to go? You don't want to stay? You're welcome to stay.
So,
Okay, well, you're welcome to sit there if you want. This is my mom.
Hello.
Dr. Veralia Rowell.
Hi
We're
there.
looking both there and there.
I'm looking at both now.
Yes.
Properly worn.
So, dermatologist, dermatopathologist, prominent researcher, over 200 studies published, blah, 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 blah. She's been teaching and publishing and patch testing for I don't know, since the Paleolithic era. And what's been interesting is her dealings with skin and hair and scalp. Because remember things like psoriasis, no?
Right.
Sometimes they actually manifest earliest on the nails, is what you notice, right? I'm not making that up. So say hi to everybody.
Hello, everybody, wherever you are in this beautiful world.
Oh, yay! Thank
Even though we have
you.
COVID, it's actually opened up a lot of nice, beautiful things because of it. So
Oh, goody.
let's look at the positive.
Let's look at the positive, folks. What is the point of concentrating on things we cannot control, correct?
Right.
We cannot control 2020. We can control our skin and our health, so we can figure that out. Okay, so nails and hair.
Okay.
Why do dermatologists take care of this also? Are they also skin?
Yes, definitely. The skin's origin is actually something like the tube that develops, when the male and the female thing gets together, and out of that then there's the germ cells that goes into the making of the epidermis, and with that, if you then look, it develops the little tubes that go down and become the house for the hair follicle, also for the sweat gland, and also for the nail. But otherwise, they are keratinocytes, they are similar cells, but have different properties to make it harder on the nail and produce this coming from this little thing here, which is called the proximal fold, distal fold. And then it is where the matrix of the hair, of the nail, then is producing what we call the proximal and the distal and the nail bed. So, but essentially it has the same processes as the development of the hair, of the skin itself. So that's for the nail. And as far as the hair follicle, there's also another dip that has its own epidermis following that into the inside of the skin to produce the hair matrix and the hair channels that cover it, as well as the oil gland.
So it is skin, because keratinocytes primarily, right? The keratinocytes, excuse me. So same cells for the most part make up skin cells, follicles, nail beds.
Right.
Okay.
But with different features about it. Because this one is not hard. This one
Right.
is hard.
Right.
And this one is totally different. The hair consists of 3 areas, by the way. It's called the cuticle in the most outside part. Sorry, it says.
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna have that fixed.
All right. So the most outside part is called the cuticle. Then the next is the cortex, and then inside is called the medulla. And the thickness or the width of these three layers varies between Caucasians, Asian skin, as well as in African skin. So
So yes.
depending upon
So hair and nails, yes, you
heritage
need
as
to-
well.
Wait, I'm gonna
Right.
take this out. We have a thing. Okay. So yeah, so this is why you would see a dermatologist for nails and hair. What are the more common issues that you see, let's say as a dermatologist, for hair, nails, and scalp?
For hair, nails, and scalp. Okay. In the scalp, the most common is dandruff, the milder form, which is also called pityriasis sicca. That's when you have dry, flaky skin, but
Is that
without
dandruff?
without the redness. That's dandruff.
Okay.
And
So
then
did you all catch that? Dandruff is this dry, flaky scalp
Skin.
without the redness.
Mhm.
So it's a scaling without the redness, and it's called.
dandruff or seborrheic dermatitis, that's mild, or pityriasis sicca.
There you go. Pityriasis